What did you thought of Birdman?
What did I think of Birdman? Yes.
Yeah, the movie.
Okay, yes, the movie, of course. It's pretty good, but not for the reasons it thinks it's good.
Care to elaborate?
But of course. Alright, first of all, the director. Let's talk a bit about the director, because he's best known for films like 21 Grams with Sean Penn, and also that Amores Perros. He's an interesting style of direction, that is, he usually tends to do edits and cuts in between various moments in the past, present, and the future. This film, the way it was directed, is something new for him. It was all a continued shot, or at least it gives you the false impression of a continued shot that never had cuts, even though it has some slightly noticeable but almost invisible transitions in between certain key moments, in between days typically, in which the story takes place. And the direction is pretty good. With that said, I have some reservations with the script. As in, this film tends to be really obvious about what it wants to be. It tends to be really obvious, especially since at times it would have the actors themselves tell us about what this film is about. Hey, have you noticed the parallel in between the play that Michael Keaton is putting up and the career of the character he's playing, which is also a parallel with Michael Keaton's own real-life career? Well, in case you didn't notice, he would tell you about it in the film itself. I am slightly bothered by this sort of things, because it's a smart film, but it seems to underestimate its audience every once in a while. That's what most films of this caliber do. It tends to be a bit pretentious at times too. But really, the real story... Yes?
I have heard the same criticism about Crash, that one about a decade earlier, and it makes me get a line between being too obvious and being too cryptic, because these kind of movies have to balance with that.
My most favorite, I should say, part of the film was when it actually break apart from the illusion of the continued shot, and it shows off that small montage in between the third act and the epilogue. You know, right before Michael Keaton reawakens himself from the hospital. That was a great part of the film. It's an alternate montage in between. On one hand, it shows super doofuses in superhero costumes dancing with musicians on the stage, which is satirizing the trivialization of the theater that has become much like Hollywood itself. It's only in denial about it. But parallel to that, we have scenes like the dead jellyfish on the sea, which are reminiscent of Michael Keaton's character's own story, which has been told in the film. It summarizes the film thematically and emotionally in a perfect way, if you ask me. In fact, the point in which the film really triumphs is the emotional part, the characters' moment, the way they interact with each other, and they get genuine in their expression of emotional conflicts and struggles. Michael Keaton's characters with his daughter, or the moment in which he goes Citizen Kane in his own room, and everything. Those are the moments. Those are the most potent and powerful moments of the film. It's what makes really the film great. More than the direction, more than the photography, it's the acting. The acting is just perfect. It's sublime. And it's especially difficult to pull off such a good acting in this kind of environment, in which every single sequence and dialogue and motion has to be filmed all in one shot. And if something goes wrong, they have to repeat the whole process from the very start of the long sequence, because there are never obvious cuts. And I have a problem with this kind of direction, in that it is extremely pretentious, and it's basically it used to be an element of innovation back in the time of Michelangelo Antonioni, but even then it turned immediately into an instrument of self lenient virtuosismo, as in a way for a director to tell that, look at me, look how good I am at directing, look how good I am with these long shots and lingering camera on this one scene that takes 18 minutes to complete for no other reason than just to tell you how good I am as a director. That's something that I come to really despise.
Really, it's very similar to actual theater, because in a theater you follow when actors do live, it's just basically one big shot, and I think they probably use that long shot to enhance the theater effect.
Yes, that's why it works in this context. That's why I'm not bothered by it. I'm not bothered by it because in this particular long shots there are things that are actually happening. There are people moving in and about. It's like it encapsulates this microcosmic world of the theater in between the backstage and the front seats and the exits and everything and everyone that lives within it. It's really well done, like I said. I usually don't like it, but it's well done, and when it's well done, it's well done. But like I said, the problem is that the film tends to spell out its themes for you. I'm a bit appalled by how Edward Norton was misused in this film. In the first half of it, there seems to be this sort of parallel in between Michael Keaton, failed Hollywood actor that tries to justify his own existence, basically, with this Broadway production that just convince himself and the world that he is indeed an actual actor. And then there is the character of Edward Norton, which is a long-time veteran theater actor that's very respected in his own ambience, but it's virtually unknown, completely outside of the elite group in which he dwells in. And I like the parallel that the film establishes in between these two, but, seemingly halfway through the film, Edward Norton that gets completely set aside and it's completely forgotten, and Michael Keaton has the entire stage.
Yeah.
Why is that? That was a bit... why? That was just why? That's...
I thought that too, that the arc between him and the Emma Stone character wasn't really completed.
It seems that Edward Norton's arc is either forgotten about it or completed the moment he bangs his daughter. And the moment he says, I spent all my life acting, but I am the real me when I'm on the stage, which is the most obvious conflict, metaphor / thematic complexity that's ever been encumbered to the act of acting. The act of acting. Like I said, that's when the film gets obvious once again. But overall, I'd say this was a great film, and Michael Keaton not winning an Oscar was a disgrace, honestly, if you ask me. This was by far the best performance in his entire career. It was just that good. This film is so good because of the acting, more than anything else, honestly. So?
So what?
Were you saying something?
Yeah, I concur.
You concur. Alright. That's fantastic. So we are completely agree. Okay, so I guess we can awkwardly interrupt this. Okay.